Thank you. I appreciate your help. I have to go. Thank you again. Good evening. Oh, don't sit up too quickly, my dear. You fainted. Yes. When is the last time you've eaten, my dear? I had my personal doctor see you. He said you were slightly anemic and a bit dehydrated. It's a minor iron deficiency, but he recommended rest for the next few days. In my home. I didn't know where you were staying, and you only had your passport for ID when I checked your bag. Hmm? What do you remember? Yes, I didn't mean to startle you. We crossed paths last evening. You told me about your book and your research into local myths and fairy tales. I noticed you weren't looking well and offered to walk you home, as you looked pale, only for you to faint. Please don't apologize. I knew someone who was very much the same. She would get so involved in her work she'd forget to eat and sleep unless one of us dragged her away from her studies. It was no trouble. I'm just glad I was there. I'd hate to think what would happen if you had just passed out on the street alone. Yes, exactly. We're a fairly peaceful country, but you never know about people. Since you're awake, would you like something to eat? I ate already, but there's still some stew left. Reheating it is no problem, and the doctor did say you should eat. Alright, I'll be right back. Until then, I collected all your belongings. I think I got all your papers, but you may wish to look through them, just to make sure. Here we go. A hearty stew. Did I find all your papers? That's reassuring. I was a bit more worried about you at the time, but I would have still felt bad if I had lost any of your work, especially since you only fainted because of all the effort you had put in. There we go. These lap trays are so handy. Oh, be mindful. It is hot. You're very welcome. While I'd say there's no need to worry about paying me back, I expect you may be much more like my old friend. So, in exchange for my help, I'd like to know more about your book. What sort of tales you've looked for to put in this one, and perhaps I can help with your research. I have a vast library, and some of the books are quite old. It's possible you may be able to find stories you can't find in the libraries. I suppose that would count as helping you, but it would be a delight to see some of our old stories be brought to life with a new hand. I'm nothing if not a patriot. We are a small country, but we have a long history and have survived many difficult times. Hmm? Oh, my apologies. I guess I get a little carried away sometimes. Well then, thank you for not being offended by my moment of distraction. Is it good? Well, I may not be a cook, but it's reassuring to know my microwave skills are up to standard. Oh, goodness no. If I made you something to eat, I'd likely poison you and myself somehow in the process. No, I have a housekeeper who tends to meals and manages the manor. Yes, we are at my family home, the Manor de la Rose Dorie. We're just outside the city proper. I'm sorry, did I not mention this before? You're right. How could I forget something so important? I really must apologize. Please, allow me to properly introduce myself, my dear. I am Alexis de Opacité. Hmm? Oh, no, not at all. I may come from an old house, but really, it just comes with a lot of obligations and bills. Nothing fancy about it, and frankly, I prefer it that way. No, I have enough work managing the estate left to me and keeping my own company afloat. I can't say I'm interested in running a whole country. I'm happy with my life, as it is. Ambitious? Well, maybe. Once when I was much younger, but, well, I made a terrible decision and ended up hurting a lot of people I cared about. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't dump that on you. Hmm? Are you sure? That's kind of you. Well, I guess there's no harm if you're sure. Well, I thought I was doing something that would help, and it did in a way, but unfortunately, there were things I hadn't considered. Oh, consequences. I did everything I could to fix it. Honestly, there are some things you can't take back, and I still feel guilty, I guess. Hmm? Uh, you don't. Your hand is very warm, like hers. Apologize? Yes, I did. The word wasn't enough, so I did everything I could to replace what was lost and damaged, but some things. Some things just can't be replaced or fixed. Maybe. I honestly don't remember. I think some did, but I can't remember exactly. I was, well, I was in no fit state to hear anything I like. Well, yes, of course I mean it. But what can an apology do? The people are still hurt by what I did and my decision. Some people lost a lot. And me? I can't even be upset about my own loss because ultimately I still have power. I lost so little compared to them. Self flagellation? I I guess I hadn't thought of it that way. I did put the effort in. Even now I'm trying to fix things. Though at this point I don't know what else I can do but my best at maintaining what I wanted to fix in the first place. People are allowed to make mistakes? Hmm. What kind of mistakes? That's true. I'm sure many wouldn't forgive me and didn't. Would I undo it? I I don't know. What I did fix the immediate problem, but I don't know if it was worth it. I don't know how else I could have fixed it though. Well, yes. I suppose I just wanted to do right by my people. The ones who work for me, I mean. No, I didn't abandon things. I stepped away when I was done replacing and rebuilding. But even then, I stayed available if I was needed for anything else that might have gone wrong. Nothing I can think of. I've thought about it time and again and wonder if I were smarter, could I have come up with a better option? So you think I should just keep being a better self then? I suppose that's not completely without merit. Here you are, laid up in a bed, and you're consoling me. I thought I was meant to care for you until you got stronger. My hand? Oh, yes, I have a circulation problem, so I tend to run cold. Low blood pressure. I'm fine. No worries. But thank you for your concern. How was the stew? I'm glad you liked it. A warm, hearty stew can make anyone feel cozy. Would you like anything else, or do you wish to rest some more? Your head? Yes. Just a moment. And here we are. The doctor said a mild painkiller would help if you had any aches. I just picked something from the shop, and I didn't know if you had any allergies. I just realized, and I only grabbed this one. Oh, you know the brand? That's good then. It says you can take up to 2 at a time. Oh, only half? Alright, here you are. And a glass of water. Try to drink that whole glass if you can manage it. Remember, dehydration was another concern the doctor had, so it would probably be good to drink up if we want to keep him happy. Oh, yes, he can be quite terrifying if you don't follow his orders to the letter. I remember when I took a nasty fall and hurt my leg badly. I tried getting out of bed the very next day, and he threatened to tie me down and cast my entire body. Yes, well, I suppose it's easier to be more open when you're almost indispensable to your employer. Unfortunately, I don't have the right kind of charger cord for your cell phone, but you can call whoever you need to from my main line tomorrow morning if you like. Well, it is almost midnight now. You slept the whole day. That's why I was worried and called the doctor. I can get you a book if you'd like to read until you fall asleep. Right. Yes, you have a headache. I guess reading might strain your eyes then. Well, there's a little radio here if you'd like some quiet music. I'll leave you to rest then. I'll come check on you in the morning and see how you are, and we can discuss where you'd like to go from here. Well, if you'd like, you can just rest here. Or if you'd like, you can go back to your rental. It's big enough here that you could stay no problem, but you don't really know me, so you might not be comfortable. I wouldn't force you normally, but for tonight I will. Simply because you're in no state to be anywhere but in bed sleeping and recovering. You're welcome. Thank you for not getting mad at me for simply bringing you here, for listening to me. It's been some time since I let myself prattle. You're a good listener, you know? Ah, well, yes, that is true. It's hard to ignore me when you're stuck in bed, but you could have easily told me to go away. I appreciate it. More than you know. I barely heard a word of that, my dear. You're falling asleep. Just close your eyes and settle. We'll talk more in the morning. I promise you're safe. And no trouble at all. I'm just happy to help.